This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone, once again, and welcome to the SelectorsHub Technical Bootcamp. Thanks all for joining. Can someone please confirm on the chat that you can hear me well and the screen is visible? We'll be recording the session, so don't worry. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys, for the confirmation. So I have started the recording. So at the end of the session, you all will get the recording. So yeah, just a second. One moment. I hope you all joined from the laptop, not from mobile. Make sure please join from mobile, not from laptop. Okay. Okay, so agenda for today's meeting is that you guys will be getting the training, detailed training on SelectorsHub, Test Case Studio, Test Case Hub. Then lots of great tips and tricks on how to write XPath, how smartly you can learn about these concepts related to selectors, XPath. Then Shadow DOM, SVG, iframe, how you can handle the dynamic elements, how to write selectors for them, then how to handle invisible drop-down elements. Then we will have a quick quiz and a lot more we will see throughout the session. So hope this will be a great session and great learning for you guys. Okay, so is there anyone who is new to selectors or who is not using, or you guys are already using it? Okay, so Kunguru is saying new, Vishal using it, Kunal using it. Okay, great. So today we'll see the very first thing we will see test case hub. Okay, so what is test case hub and how is it how it is going to help you guys on a day-to-day basis? So test case hub isn't like, okay, before that, let me ask one question to you guys. Suppose if I give you guys to test, let's say login functionality, for an example, very simple one. So I'm sure here we have like someone will be like 2 years experience, 5 years experience, 10-year experience. Can all of you would be able to write similar kind of test cases for login functionality, or will you guys be able to, all of you will be testing the login functionality covering same scenarios? Okay, Mohammed is saying your voice is not clear. Is it clear to others, or everybody is facing the problem? Can someone confirm if my voice is clear? Okay, so Mohammed, can you please check your earphone? Because if it is clear for others, that means no problem at my end. Okay, so Vishal is saying we cannot write, it is not possible to have the same, everybody will be having the same test cases. Absolutely, like definitely, like there will be some differences, and not we all have the same kind of mindset. And in fact, the same person, like suppose I'm doing the login functionality testing today, and if you guys ask me, if someone asks me like to do the testing of login after 1 week, for sure I would not be able to cover the same scenarios what I have covered today. Right, like if I give you to test a particular functionality, let's say search page today, and tomorrow again I will give you, would you be able to test same? That's not possible, right? So, and in fact, like suppose you are a manager of a team, 10 members team, and you have to get some functionality tested, and someone who is a fresher in your team, you want him to cover all the scenarios, all the possible scenarios of a particular functionality. So you cannot trust on him because you know that he might miss some of the particular scenarios, some of the really good scenarios of that functionality. So to cover all these things, to make sure that no matter if you give your feature functionality for testing to a 1 year guy, to a fresher, or 10 years guy, you want to be sure that all of the test cases, all of the test scenarios are covered by him. And in fact, like in many a situation, your testers, your company people might not be that good. You can think of that way. I mean, it's just a scenario because suppose you are in a startup, so there is a possibility that you cannot hire too many testers or too good two testers. I mean, considering multiple factors that you are in a startup, you don't want to pay much on that, or suppose you don't have tester at all, you just have developers. So in that situation, how you can get the world-class test scenarios, test cases for a particular functionality. So to cover all these things, to solve all these problems, we have the test case hub now. This is a really new innovation which is recently launched. What it has, it is basically encyclopedia of the test cases and test scenarios. It's a kind of like repository of test cases and test scenarios, where you can get all kinds of test cases and test scenarios. And it's to use it very simple. So just go to this testcasehub.net. This is the URL. Now from here, how you will get the test cases? Like suppose you got a test functionality, you got a functionality test, which is a login functionality. So search for here login and hit enter. It will list down all possible best scenarios to test a login functionalities. And you see that there is an option, of course, like you can upvote, downvote, so that like based on that you can see that okay, there are people who consider that test with null values is a good test case. Then invalid credential, test with correct credential. Okay, this we all know. But generally, the test case like this kind of thing, after logout, refresh the page, it shouldn't show login. Many a times, a fresher, a new person who has never done the login functionality, he might miss this test case. He might miss this test case. After logout, press back button. It shouldn't show logged in. Sign in and refresh the page. It shouldn't ask to sign in again. So basically the point is here is that here you will get all possible uh, test cases, test scenarios for login functionality, even if you have never done a testing for a particular functionality. Suppose you have never done a testing for credit card, and somebody asks you, like your manager got a requirement to test a credit card. So in that case, you can test it here. You can basically get a test cases from here. So what are those test cases? And if you find any test case missing, of course, you can submit it here, and more test cases will, like over the time, they will keep appearing here. you can submit the test case. Like suppose you feel that there is only 3 test cases are there for credit card, and you have done the credit card functionality testing, so you know more test cases, so you can submit it here for review, and they will start appearing here. And what benefit and what other things you will get? So your name and your profile will appear here, that okay, who has submitted this test case, this person has submitted this test case, this person has reviewed that test case, and upvote. You can, like, you feel okay, this test case is good, you can upvote here. If you feel that this test case is not good, you can downvote here. So this way, whichever test case will be the best, they will be coming on top, and whichever is not good, that will like coming in down. So this way it will help a lot for you guys to get the test cases for any particular functionality, because many times we don't know what all test cases are possible. Like, I'm not a good tester because I generally don't do the testing. So now whenever I have to do the testing of anything, I just come here and search for any particular functionality. Let's say I want for search page, so I can come here and search here. Whatever test cases will be there, at least I can get them. Okay, so this is right now, it's a very fresh start, very new tool. So here you will not get more might not get more test cases or much for each and every functionality, but over the time it is going to evolve. So if you know that okay, these many test cases could be there, so let me submit it. Sometimes there will be situation where you will not find at all any test cases. Like, let's say if I search something random, so you see that there are no test cases, so you can submit for test cases. And then, like, here you would be able to enter your LinkedIn profile name, LinkedIn profile link, name, everything, so you can check that who has written this test case, who has reviewed this test case. There's a if let me search which has more test cases. If you just want positive, negative test case, that you can that you have the filter here, you can just uncheck, check priority P1, P2, P3. Let's say you just want P1, so you can uncheck this, so you will get only P1 test cases now. Here you have option to copy the all test cases, download these test cases. You also have this like, let's say you just want to these 2 test cases, you want these 3 test cases, you can copy them, only 3 test cases, or you can download only those 3 test cases. Okay, so this is how you can do use this tool. This is really helpful, and it's evolving, and lots of feature and everything is coming along. If you want to add test cases, you can add from here as well. You can upload bulk test cases, and if you searching for something and you feel that okay, there are missing test cases, only 1-2 test cases, and you are expert in that, so you can submit the test cases here. Okay, and I will highly request you guys that please use this, and whenever you get 2-3 minutes of time, 5 minutes of time, just contribute here. It will help a lot to the community, and over the time it is going to evolve. So you can consider this as a like innovation, like Stack Overflow for tester. Though I didn't want it to compare, but yeah, to have a better understanding that it's a kind of like a Stack Overflow, which is going to evolve over the time for testers. Like, when initially on the day one, Stack Overflow was not having anything, but today it has all problem solution for developers. So similarly, this is going to have a solution for every tester over the time. Yeah. Yes, guys. So that's the test case hub. Any question? Okay, so Vishal has a something. After submitting test cases, does it will have second peer review approval? Yes. So it is like once you will submit the test case, it is not like immediately it will appear. It will go for review. Like let's say this is radio button. Here only one test case is there. So you can submit here the test case. Like, let me show you. Name Sanjay Kumar. My LinkedIn profile, I will put it here so that like I get the get credit, and as well as like whoever will be looking at this test case, so he will know that okay, who is the person who has written this test case. So authenticity will be there, and like you will be having more confidence if this test case is written by someone who is known, someone who is working in like good company or testing company. So you will be having more confidence. So only one radio button should get selected at a time. Now you tell me like any test case. I'm not really good in test cases. So for radio button, uh, it should be in circular shape. I'm just writing because generally like radio buttons are in circular shape. So it should be in circular shape. Positive. Yeah. So this is the one here. And if you want to add more test cases, you can click here in this or just delete and accept and submit. So this will go for submission. Now it is not going to appear here until unless it is not getting reviewed. Once this will get reviewed, then it will appear here. Okay. Is that clear, Vishal? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so this is how you can use the test case hub, and it is going to help you and like everyone. Eventually, like when you will be like manager or like in handling a team or company, that's where this is going to help a lot over the time. Like because you can just ask your team that go and get the test cases, and you will be having more confidence because you know that all the test cases, good test cases are covered. So at least my functionality is not going to break. But randomly, if you got a like any application to test and you just randomly giving it to someone in your team, trusting that he will cover, he knows that functionality, there are chances that I have never done the payment functionality testing. There are chances that I never tested a particular search functionality. So I might not be, doesn't matter how expert I am in something, but it's not, there are chances that I can't be like expert in everyone, of course, for on everything. So in that cases, this will help a lot. Now talking about Test Case Studio, what is this tool and how this is going to help you a lot? Are you guys anyone using Test Case Studio out there in the call? Anyone using Test Case Studio? Have you guys heard about it? Okay, cool. So great. Thanks Kunal. Thanks Vishal. Okay, so let me show you guys one example here. Suppose we are here on, let's say, Google. Okay, and now I'm doing, we have to do search functionality testing here on Google. Okay, so I just search for SelectorsHub. We scroll down, we click on this link. Then suppose we right click on this products here. Then we click on courses. Then we click on, let's say, practice page. Here we click on, let's say, this logo here. I click back on practice page. Here, suppose I'm trying to enter some value like company name as SelectorsHub. Then I click on this enter first name, and you see that we are not able to enter the value here, and I'm not able to enter the value here in last name as well. So both these fields input box are disabled. So here this is a like kind of a issue or bug in this page. So we have to raise a bug here. Okay, and we have to like, of course, in whenever we raise a bug, either in Jira or any test management tool or Bagasura, anywhere we are raising a bug, or in fact, if we are directly telling to the developer, we have to tell him the steps. Agree? Now, can any one of you tell me, or is it possible that we can recall all these steps in a sequence, what we have followed? what we have followed to reach here. So does any one of you remember like searching on Google, then scrolling down, then right click where I did right click, where I click, where I have entered something. So does anyone of you remember those steps to reproduce this issue? And imagine like suppose that this issue will be reproduced only if we will follow the same steps. Exactly, like Vishal is saying, very less chances to remember all steps. Of course, like in fact, like this is just like suppose 4 or 5 steps, we might be able to recall. But trust me, in reality, in ground reality, when you will be working in industry in real time, there are very high chances that we might not be able to remember those steps because there are always like at least 10, 15, 20, 30 steps are always there. There are not, it is going just click 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 and done. No, there will be always more steps, and it becomes really difficult to remember all those steps, recall all those steps, and that's where we waste a lot of time. And I'm sure like you all will agree that yes, we write a lot of test case, lot of steps, and always we have to manually write those steps to reproduce the issue. Now we have here test case studio, which will help you to get all these steps automatically what you followed while doing the testing. So what is test case studio? Test case studio is a free browser plugin which is used to record all your manual steps while doing the functionality testing in plain English sentences, which you can use to reproduce the bug for the documentation, to get the automation script, to get the XPath, cssSelector, screenshots, data, and everything. Let me show you how you can use this and how it is going to helpful in this kind of scenarios. So first of all, we have to install this one. So how you can get this? You just go to SelectorsHub website. Let me go from here. And here you will find this Test Case Studio. Click on this install button. Here you can read the definition of Test Case Studio, a little bit more information about Test Case Studio. Then on the left side, you see installation, and all these things are here. You can go through. So let's say we want for Chrome, so install on Chrome, and then click on Add to Chrome. I'm showing it like from the beginning, so you can install and everything you can do. Okay, so we have added in the browser. Let's close this. And here by default, you will not find the Test Case Studio logo, so you have to pin it to toolbar. Okay, so installation and setup is ready. Let me close this. So whenever you install any plugin or add any plugin in your browser, it is always recommended that either you restart the browser or you open new tab. Okay, open website into the new tab. Okay, now what we will do, we will start Test Case Studio, and then we will do the same testing, same functionality testing. So here you just click on this login Test Case Studio logo to start it. That's all you have to do, and you start your testing same way. Let's say we have searched, remember we have searched for SelectorsHub, then we press enter, then we scroll down, then we click on this SelectorsHub homepage link. Then suppose we right click on products, then suppose we click on courses, then we go to practice page, then we clicked on SelectorsHub logo, then come back, click on practice page. Suppose here we enter the value SelectorsHub, then enter first name, try to enter first name. So this value is disabled, then click on last name as well. So this value is also disabled. Now you see that, now you will observe that every steps and everything has been already documented for you. Now suppose we have to raise a bug. So we got all the steps here. You see that we have got all steps recorded here, like we open website, then we enter SelectorsHub, scroll down, click on SelectorsHub, this, right click on products, click on courses. Each and every step has been recorded here. Now simply you can download this test case, or you can click on copy all steps and paste it to your developer that these are the steps to reproduce the issue. So he will reproduce the issue, or you can just download this file, like you can upload this XLS file in Jira, that this is how you can reproduce the issue, and these are the steps to reproduce the issue. So this way it is going to help a lot to you and your team to reproduce the issue for the documentation as well. Like suppose this was a suppose this is not a bug, okay, and you were doing some testing of this functionality of your application. So in future, if any issue comes in production, you can easily have a proof. You have a proof with you to show it to your manager that you have done this functionality testing, right? Because generally what happens, there's a lot of blame game in in software industry, of course, like everywhere. It is not just software industry. So there is a lot of blame game that, okay, this issue is not because of me. Developer will say, no, this is not because of me. Tester will say, no, this is not my miss from my end. That happen always. Like whenever there's an issue in production, tester will say developer issue, developer has missed this, and developer will say tester has missed this, right? So in this situation, you will always be having proof that you have done this functionality testing, and you can always show to your manager that here is an Excel sheet. Here are these things which I have followed while testing, and here are the screenshots which has been taken. So you can see that I have done the testing while doing the I have done the testing of this functionality. And you see that generally what happens, when we do the testing, whenever we raise a bug, we never raise a bug without a screenshot, right? So we used to take this screenshot like this way. We take a screenshot, we highlight the field, and then we save. Agree? Like this. We always take a screenshot for the bug. We never raise a bug without a screenshot. Right, guys? You guys can agree, disagree on this? So you see that whenever you take a screenshot, there always will be the name. The name of the screenshot will be like this. And if after this session, if I will open tomorrow my this folder where screenshots are getting saved, here you will see that all the screenshots names will be like something like this, and I will be like highly able to hardly I can recall that what was the purpose of this screenshot. So these screenshot generally goes like waste, and we never able to find the screenshot which we have taken for this purpose of bug. But here you will see that these screenshot will be having the proper these screenshot by test case studio already taken automatically, and you will see the field is highlighted, so that time it saves that time of taking the screenshot manually, highlighting the field that where this issue was, as well as the name of the screenshot is also same as an step. So you see that the screenshot name is 12, means step number 12. Click on first enter name. It is highlighted. Click on enter last name. This one is highlighted and the step name is this. So this is also having the step names. The screenshot name is as a step name, so it will be very clear. Like suppose you see that here the folder has been downloaded for the screenshot. So you can open this, and you have actually the kind of like a screenshot test case. So this screenshot is for this. This screenshot is for this action. This screenshot, click on first enter name, is for this screenshot is for this purpose. So you have the name of this screenshot. Even if tomorrow if you forget that where was that folder, so easily you can identify, okay, this screenshot is for click on first name, and easily you or your developer would be able to identify, okay, this is the issue and this screenshot is for this purpose. So this way it will help a lot. Then apart from this, like documentation, there are like lots of other features that suppose you want to add a step or delete a step. Suppose you feel that, okay, this step got recorded by mistake, or you don't want to record this scroll down step, you can delete it here. If you want to add some wait time, you can, anywhere you want to add wait time, you just click on plus button and add, let's say 5-second wait. So that you can add. So basically, like, you can add and delete steps. If you doesn't want to record the if you want to pause the recording, you can pause the recording. If you want to resume again. Here you get the like XPath and CSS selectors as well. You get the data as well, like whatever data you will be entering into the field while doing the testing, so that data you get. Expected result is blank, of course, because after entering SelectorsHub into search box, you might be expecting some element to be getting appeared. I might be expecting that title should be there. So expectation of person to person different, like vary, and as well as, like, it depends on like what kind of requirement you have. So generally expected result is always different from company to company, from person to person. So that's the reason expected result is blank. This column is blank. If you want, you can enter the value, enter something, and then you can save the test case. Here XPath and CSS selector, this has the it has XPath and CSS selector for each and every step. So you see that every step has XPath. So now suppose you are writing automation script as well for your test cases. So you will not have to open the website again to get the XPath for this element. You can directly get the XPath from your Excel. Like this is the Excel which we have downloaded from here by clicking on this button. So from the Excel itself, you can get, like, because you will be like to write the automation to automate this step, you will open this Excel. So here better you just open this Excel file. Okay, once again, you just open this Excel file here. Oh my God. So when you will open this Excel, here you will get the data of like you would be able to, okay, somehow like my local Excel is not opening. Okay, now it's open. Okay, so basically, like whenever you will be writing automation script, you just open that Excel, and from the Excel you can copy these like XPath and CSS selector. You will not have to open the browser again to get those steps. Let me see. Okay, somehow this Excel is not working. Yeah, so something, this is some other file I opened. Let me try once more. If, okay. Yeah. Okay, anyways, so you get these steps. Now here, suppose you want the complete automation script, not just XPath and CSS selector. So in that case, you can get this complete script as well, because you are not going to use this. Let's say you can copy this and go back to your editor and paste this. So this way you are not going to use XPath in your automation script, like, because you will have to, like, we always have to write something like this driver dot, or whatever you are using, driver dot find element by dot XPath, and then you have to paste like this here, isn't it? Or you must be using some other, like, let's say page object model, add find by, whatever you are using. So this we have to add, but can we get it directly this way? Yes. So there is a command feature here. You see that set driver command. So here you see you can set the driver command. Just turn on this toggle and you see that now you are getting the complete step. So simply copy all, click on this copy button, go back to your editor and paste this. So you see that now you got this complete step. Here, now you want to add click method, you can add click method. You want to add send keys, you can add send keys. So it's so simple now that you are able to you are getting the complete statement. You will not have to enter those things. You will not have to type that thing. So basically, in short, if you see that you got the manual steps ready, you got the automation steps ready, you got the screenshots ready. So without doing what you did, like whatever testing you were performing, you just click on that test case studio logo and everything you got. Before starting your testing, you just click on this test case studio logo and you got each and everything recorded automatically here. Then you have this attribute filter if you want to generate your XPath CSS selector with any particular attribute, like let's say ID are dynamic for your application. You can uncheck that it will generate without ID. Then if you want to record a new test case, you can click on this delete button. It will delete all of them, and then you can start recording from fresh. If you want to customize UI, let's say you don't want this CSS selector, you don't need. You can uncheck this. It will not show. You don't want X factor, you uncheck this. It will not show. So this way you can customize the UI as well. By default, if you will download the test case, it will download with the domain name of this website from where you started testing, followed by the timestamp when you have downloaded that. If you want to set the file name, like let's say demo bootcamp is my test case name. So now if I will download this, it will download with this name. And here when you click on this download test case, by default it will download with it will download this whatever data you are seeing in the here file, this data. I mean basically this test case and data XPath. It will here, and it will download the screenshot, all the screenshots here. Now here, if you want to, let's say, if you want the you want to execute this test case, so you can execute this test case by clicking on this button. So execute this test on TestRiger. So you just click on this and it will execute this test case on TestRiger, and that test case will be available here. So here you can always check out this test, whenever you will click on this, it will execute this test case on TestRiger as well. If at any particular situation you don't want to record these screenshots, you can also turn off this. So now if you will record these steps, it will not take the screenshot. Whenever you want, you can turn it on. So this is how you can make the best use of Test Case Studio. So Test Case Studio is a free browser plugin to generate manual steps with a screenshot automatically with lots of huge time saver features. Then you can what all things you can do, like I have showed you guys that it converts the action performed on web application into plain English sentence, which can be used as English test case, like manual test steps to reproduce the bug. You get the screenshot, you get the auto-generated data, XPath, cssSelector. Then you have feature to add new steps, delete steps, copy all steps, pause, resume recording, options to generate XPath selectors with attribute, feature to delete all steps in one go, options to customize, and a lot more things are there. Okay, so yeah, any questions, guys, or anything? Okay, so no question from Vishal side. Anyone? Okay, great. So I hope you found what's the difference between Test Case Studio Pro and normal version. Yes. So okay. So yes, there are like lot more time saver features are there in Pro version. So basically, like everything you have in free version. But yes, we there have been like a few more features has been added in Pro version. So let me show you. Pro version is almost also like almost free only, just very minimal cost, $1-2 per month. Like let me show you this Pro version quickly. So you just start this one here. So you will see that here in Pro version you have this option of record screen. So if you want to like you are doing the testing of your desktop application, let's say, so or any particular application. So in that case you can record the video as well from here. You just select this screen, so you would be able to record video. You can copy the complete test case. Like let's say if we do the same test case here. I'm just doing the same test case, and you see that you have this like this kind of recording logo here, this button, so you understand that okay, recording is happening on this page. You click on this. So now let me show you a couple of things have been recorded already. So basically the very first thing, the UI, you see that it looks like premium UI. Then every steps and all those things has been recorded here. You see that it records URL for each and every step. So because generally like whenever you will raise a bug or you want to check something, developer always asks that when you perform this step, at that moment what was the URL in the address bar. So you have URL for each steps. You see that you got the logs as well for each steps. Here you click on this, you can see the logs. What are the logs? When you have click on that, you have the download option to download those logs. So you get the logs. Here you have the option to copy this complete test case. Like you need not to copy one by one. You can simply copy this and paste it like anywhere wherever you want. So you just simply paste this complete table. So that is another great advantage of Pro version. You can download in whichever format you want, like Excel, CSV, PDF. You can download the screenshots separately whenever required. Then by mistake, if you click here, close this test window, you have the option to download last test case, the previously recorded test case. You have the network logs. You have more option of customization here. Like let's say you don't want to record these arrow keys, shift key, you don't want to record scroll event, so that you can do. If you doesn't want to like show this, like enter what value you have entered, because you want to you want to generate a customized test case, like a kind of like template of test case. So in that case you can enter some variable name here. So then in that case it will not record in this format. It will say enter that variable name into search field. So those options are here. You can uncheck, I mean, same things are there, like cssSelector, whichever column you want, you can keep them here. So yeah, these and more option in filters of XPath and selectors. Let me just hide this. So here you have like option to pass any attribute name to generate XPath and selectors with attribute, without attribute. And you have this command option. In command there are more options, like here by default you see that click here and you will get multiple commands to generate the code here. So yeah, there are like lots of great features has been added, and it is almost like free only, just $2.5 per month for Test Case Studio. And this is like basically to support all our free products, so that like they can keep improving, keep adding more and more support. So for that purpose it is here. And you have like by mistake, if you delete any steps, you can undo that step as well. So those more functionality, more features are there. It has the dark theme as well, so you can use it in dark theme. So yeah, I will highly recommend that if you guys are in business and if your company like you are using products, then of course like it is recommended that you can propose this in your company, the pro version, not the free, of course. So that will help a lot us as well. Like at SelectorsHub, it will help us to grow more free products and free innovation. Keep doing those things, and it will also help your team. And for a company, it's not even a coffee cost for a company, so it's very cheap. And how you can get them, like you can just check out these pro pages here, and you will get to know that what you have to do. First install, and then take a, like, you can take a free trial as well. Everybody, I will highly recommend that you guys take a free trial. Okay, anyways, thank you. Thanks, Janet, you asked this, so I explained you guys. Okay, so moving on, SelectorsHub. Okay, this is another great plugin. Of course, you all must have heard about it, and this is again a free browser plugin, XPath plugin, which helps a lot in learning, writing, verifying XPath and selectors, and learn all about the DOM, WebElements, selectors, and different complex automation scenarios. Also, it helps a lot to solve as well as learn about them. So let's see how can we use this and install it. So very first thing, let me show you how you can install it. So SelectorsHub is again a free browser plugin. Close all this. Yeah, so here you see that the very first thing here, you will see SelectorsHub. Click on this. So here you will read about SelectorsHub, and then click on installation. So for whichever browser you want, let's say for Chrome, click on install. Add to Chrome, add extension. So we have successfully added. And here in Chrome by default these days, logo will not, you will not see the logo on toolbar. So click pin it to toolbar. Now SelectorsHub logo is here. You open website into the new tab. Let's say we open SelectorsHub. So I will show you guys each and everything on this practice page. So here on SelectorsHub, you see that this practice page. So we will do this practice and learn all about from this page. This is the page, guys, which is having all complex automation scenarios. And trust me, I can like, you can give challenge to anyone, or I can give you guys challenge and myself as well, that if we are able to automate this page, that means we can say we are really good in web automation, because this has all really complicated scenarios, automation scenarios, and they are really complex. If anybody can automate everything on this page, enter value in each and every field in this page, then you can consider he is good. So people are using this page for practice, for taking interviews, for teaching and everything. You guys can also check out this page and do practice on this page whenever you want to like learn and explore more things. Okay, so we have installed SelectorsHub and our setup is ready. We have opened, let me open website onto the new page just to confirm that we, after installing the plugin, we are opening website into the new tab, or restart the browser once. Okay, now let's say we want to write XPath or generate XPath for this field. So where we will find the SelectorsHub, just right click, click on inspect, and by default, let me do one thing, 1 second guys. Let me close this once again. Okay, so when you will be opening the DevTools, like you right click and click on inspect. So generally, like this way DevTools will open. So where you will find SelectorsHub, it will be always last tab when you will be open first time. So here you will have to click on these two arrows and SelectorsHub will be the last tab. So this is how you will find the SelectorsHub in DevTools. It will be here as a last tab. Suppose if your DevTools is opening like this. So if you will right click and inspect, in that case, SelectorsHub will be like, suppose you have opened like this. So here SelectorsHub will be last tab here. So I always prefer that to open DevTools this way in in bottom so that you get a better view of the DOM as well as SelectorsHub and the UI. Now, so you see that as soon as you open SelectorsHub, it opens like this. And here what all things you will see. We have inspected this element. So for this element, it will generate all possible selectors. Is this visible, guys? The SelectorsHub and DOM. So here on the right side, you will see the like all possible selectors are generated. So here you see that CSS selector for this element, then XPath, relative XPath, index-based XPath, then all those things are generated here. And this is how it looks. So automatically it will generate selectors for that element which is currently being inspected here. Okay. And then there are like a lot more features. You can write and verify your own XPath. All these features are there. Lots of things are there in the UI. So I will explain each and everything one by one, and then we will see how you can automate shadow DOM, iframe, and complex scenarios. So before I continue, should we take a 5-minute break and then we will continue? I guess it's been all 1 hour. Okay. Okay. So let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll continue. I hope you guys are learning and enjoying the session. I'm not sure why people left. Not sure if they have office or something. Great, Vishal. Yeah, thank you. Now you guys will enjoy more when we will learn about selectors. So yeah. Let me know guys if everyone is back. We'll continue that. Okay. Okay, Janet is back. Vishal, are you there? Okay, cool. I guess then I hope like everybody is back so we can continue. So here, so as soon as you open SelectorsHub, it gives you all possible generated selectors. How you can automatically generate selectors in SelectorsHub? You just have to inspect any element for whichever element you want to generate. So either you select that element in the DOM and you see, like let's say we selected this element here and it generates selectors. You can scroll down, or if you just inspect the element from this, clicking on this DevTools inspector button and then select the element here, or just right click on the element in the UI and click on inspect. So three ways, like inspect from this DevTools inspector, or right click on inspect, or you click on DOM node here, this way. Here, what all things, these things are, this is the CSS selector for this inspected element, this is the relative XPath for this inspected element. And so this is index-based XPath. This is the name of that element. Like this is for which element? This XPath is for which element? This is for enter email. Then jQuery, JSPath, ID, name. What are the what is this? Like 1 it is showing, and then it is showing 231 here. So this is basically occurrence for this selector. So you know that whenever there is a 1, you can use that in your automation script. If you want to copy this value, you can click anywhere here. Like let's say you want to copy this relative XPath, you click here and value got copied. Like you can either you can click on directly on copy button, or till here, like anywhere in the header, this. So this way you can copy this value. Suppose if you want to edit this XPath, you click on this value, it will copy and paste this here, and you can verify, or if you want to edit anything, you can do that. Like hit press enter, it will verify. Then now if you want to write your own XPath, let's say, so if you want to write XPath and cssSelector for this element, how quickly you can write in SelectorsHub. So this works like in a smart editor. So you start typing here, you just start typing. So like you see that when you start typing here in IntelliJ, so you see that driver, so you automatically, like as soon as you type, it gets show you in the drop down. So you can select that and quickly you can complete your coding. Like you just put dot and you see that it shows you like this. So here, as soon as you start typing, it will show you the auto suggest. Quickly you can complete. You need not to copy paste from DevTools here, because that takes a lot of time. And in fact, like when you start typing here, so when you type, you see that // input, and as soon as you start typing, this DOM scrolls, UI scrolls, so everything you have to again like go back and inspect that element. So that's a quite a tedious task. And if you have to type something, let's say you want to write XPath with this class value, so you have to select and copy, right? And you have to type a lot. That's where, while here in SelectorsHub, you see, as soon as you put something, it will show you auto suggest @ class. You can just simply select it here, or like let's say you want to select this, you select this. Quickly you can complete. You want to add one more condition, you can add one more condition and quickly complete your XPath. So basically within few seconds you would be able to write XPath your XPath here. So that's very quick and fast. If you want to write cssSelector, you start typing, let's say you want cssSelector to write this in this format, you can complete this. If you want to write with class or ID, you just type, let's say ID is there, hash you type, and it will give you. If you want to write with cssSelector, dot you type, and you can complete this. So this will help you to write your own XPath in cssSelector within few seconds. The best thing about this smart editor is when you type XPath and cssSelector. So tell me guys one thing, like how do you become expert in any programming language or technology? Like by reading books, by watching videos, tutorial, or through training, or you just, or by using the smart editors. Vishal, practice. Yes, practice is one of the great example that by practicing we become expert. Absolutely correct. We become expert in practice. But when you do the practice, suppose if you do practice on of writing coding in Notepad here, like this, if you do practice of writing code here on Notepad, like suppose you are writing Selenium code, will you become expert? Yes, so smart editors are the one which makes us expert in any programming language while writing the code. Because if you write code here in like no matter how much practice you do, if you're practicing or writing code or anything you are learning or watching tutorial or taking reading books, they will never be able to make you expert in any programming language because when you will write code, you will never learn that this is a wrong syntax. Even in fact, like you write, like let's say this find e elements like this you have written, you will never be able to understand that okay, this is wrong. These smart editors are the one when they show some error, that's where you learn, like it is telling you that expected semicolon. So these smart editors helps us to become expert in any programming language. If you will miss, let's say, exceptional throw a statement for exception or something semicolon or anything wrong you will do, they will let you know. So that's where, because, and another thing, in any training, like I'm taking XPath training or whatever this training today, I cannot teach you guys each and every function of selectors, each and every function of XPath. But these smart editor, like suppose someone is taking Selenium training for you, he cannot teach you each and every functions which are available in this web driver, right? Most of the time we just teach people just teach driver.find element method or some more 2 3, but they cannot teach you all these methods, right? That's not possible, like practically. And no book will have all these methods, no blocks will have all these methods, no one can explain. So these smart editor, when you start using them, they start teaching you basically, like okay, for this method what is return type web element, what is this inside which, this is inside by, all those things like you start getting from this. Same way, how you will become expert in XPath and selectors, if you will start writing like here. So this is like writing in Notepad. Writing XPath in DevTools is like writing XPath in Notepad. Because suppose now let me tell you, you guys tell me that this is showing 0 of 0. Any guess why it is 0 of 0 this XPath? Any guess guys why this is 0? Yes, perfect. So Vishal says one single quote is missing. Yes. So because you have observed that when I was like deleting that. Now tell me, this XPath, is it actually 0 of 0 or something wrong is there? Any guess? Something is wrong forward slash. Okay, so forward slash here or here? Okay, so still it is showing 0 of 0. Are you sure that here it is like single quote or double quote, or this is correct XPath now? Yeah, this is good Vishal. Like, I think no div present. Yes, you are right. No div present. Perfect. So you see that when we do such things, like now tell me that this XPath is wrong or right, like single forward slash only. So when you play around with this, right now here, you are not sure. I mean, it's like not you only, I'm also not sure. Because here we are guessing that, oh, this is showing 0, 0. It might be. It might be. We will always say, I think, or it might be, or I guess. We are not sure here that this is valid or invalid. Agree? Are you guys agree with me? So here, yes. So here we are not sure. We will think like, okay, it could be wrong, or it might be. I'm not sure. Something like this we always be saying. But when you will be writing to, if you want it to be sure, because these are the questions from the interviews, like lots of people suggested, and to tell me that, because I keep on like XPath and these things. So people just ask this question, like, because there is, let's say, they will ask this question, is it showing 0 here, it is showing 0 of 0, is it actually 0, or there is something wrong in this XPath? In that situation, it becomes really difficult to answer that whether this is actually 0 or this is something wrong. So here, and we never learn about XPath and selectors exception. Have you guys ever heard or learned or explored about XPath and selectors exception? I guess no, because we have never considered that thing. Yes. So here you see that when you write here and hit enter, you will learn this, like you will explore, because basically we never learn exception and errors separately in any programming language or in any technology. We learn these while we do our work, while we write our code. That's where we automatically start learning these things from a smart editor. So that's where I always inspire people and encourage people, write your XPath and selectors in selectors. So if you will do mistakes, you will learn automatically. So this will help you to learn automatically, like it is telling you invalid XPath, add tag name after forward slash. So here, after adding this forward slash, we are supposed to add some tag name here. There should be a tag name. Now this is actually 0 matching node. So this way you will learn, okay, this is actually 0, or there is something wrong, or what we are doing. So it helps you to learn those kind of things. So if you will be making any mistakes, it will help you. If you do any special characters, it will let you know that what is allowed after this or what is not allowed. Like after open square bracket, what is allowed. So this helps that way. And it will make you perfect in writing selectors and XPath. Okay, I hope this is useful for you guys. Now, so this was really one of the best feature and one of my most favorite one, because this helps in learning. Okay, now suppose you want to write a new XPath. So we have written this XPath here, and I wanted to show you guys a new example of XPath, or we want to write new XPath. So generally what we do, we copy this XPath, we paste it somewhere, right? We will paste this, then I will delete this, then I will write a new XPath, or let's say cssSelector I wanted to write for you guys. So that way I will write. But here we don't want to do that, like copy pasting that another place and then come back and write. There is a plus button here, you click on this value will be saved here. You see that? Now I can just simply write a new XPath here, and suppose I wanted to get back that value, like whatever we have written, we wanted to get that value. Let's say for an example, sorry, we wanted to get that value which we have written previously. So you just click on this button here and you can get this here. Okay. And if you want to edit this, click on this, it will value will be pasted here. So you can edit that. So this way, basically, like you can save the value here in SelectorsHub itself. Now another important thing is this, like if we have a question that either you ask me or I ask you, what all types of XPath can we write for this element? Or let's say this element. Generally, like we all will say that, okay, /label text is equal to user email. That's what we will write mostly. But when you write here, you will learn that, oh, there are too many types of XPath you can write, so many permutation combinations possible. Like dot is there, contains dot is there, contains normalized space is there, contains text is there, normalized space is there, starts with is there, and then text is equal to user email is there, and then the other stuff as well. So this way you will learn these functions as well, like what all possible functions are there, what all permutation combinations are there. Then if you are writing CSS selector for any element, like let's say for this element we want to write CSS selector, you will see that what all possible combinations are there. So you see that these many types of CSS selector you can write for this element. Have you guys, were you guys aware about this dollar, star, equal? I'm sure like mostly we aware about equal only. There is a star which is like contains dollar, starting value, cap, ending value, something like that. Like, so generally like we always forget this, like what is dollar, what is cap, star. So these all things you will learn, new function you will learn. Okay, this is possible there. But you see, generally we forget about these things, whether this is like end with value or starting. So cap is like starting value, dollar is like ending value. Let's say it was pass here. Okay, now we wanted to write with ending value. Let's say like this one doesn't look good. So this one we wanted to write. So in that case, you can add like a star here. So that way it will work. So all these things you will be able to learn from this thing. So this will help you to learn new concept and new things. Okay, cool. Then we have what is this toggle here? Suppose you just wanted to use SelectorsHub as an editor. You don't want to see these auto-generated values. In that case, you can turn off this toggle. You see, now you can just use it as an editor, because sometimes you wanted to use SelectorsHub in interview to take someone's interview. So in that case, you can turn off this toggle and you can ask them to write their XPath here, because you will get the correct result. Otherwise, you get like lots of wrong result here. Then suppose you see that here it gives the auto suggest, and many times there could be a situation that you don't want to see these auto suggest and you just wanted to write your own XPath without like seeing these auto suggest. You just wanted to write. So in that case, you can turn off this toggle. So now it becomes almost same, means like this. So here you can type your XPath completely, but you will getting the correct result. If you will doing anything wrong, you will get that. So this way you can use it in interviews to take anyone's interview. This is very helpful in that situation. Suppose we have written this it is generating this XPath in CSS selector. You see here. So now let me show you this XPath. Here you see that this I is capital. Someone makes tomorrow this I is small, and you want to make sure that even if someone makes I small or caps, you doesn't care. Your XPath should always work. So in that case, how to write case insensitive XPath? Sometimes we remember those functions, but most of the time it is like we don't remember those functions. Like what are those case insensitive functions for XPath and CSS selector? So in that case, SelectorsHub has this feature to make selectors case insensitive. You just click on this button and it will convert your XPath and CSS selector into case insensitive. So you see that now if you hit enter with a small I, it is finding one element matching. So this way you can convert your XPath and CSS selector into case insensitive one as well. Like you have written this one, and if you make this I small, so this way it is 0, But if you if you want to generate this, so here you would be able to just click on it, will convert that. So basically I is the function for cssSelector and translate is for XPath. You see, so this way you would be able to generate like case insensitive XPath and cssSelector. Now the very important one, like let me again open in a new page. So generally we all prefer and we all very much in a need of writing XPath for an element with respect to other element, isn't it? Like many times you must be writing XPath. Let's say you wanted to write for XPath for this enter email field with respect to this user email label. We want to write XPath for password with respect to this password field. For company field, we wanted to write XPath with respect to this company label. I'm sure you guys are also in the need of this one. Right, guys? So you know that you can automatically generate XPath for an element with respect to other element. Those who were using these selectors, were you guys aware about this fact that you can generate XPath for an element with respect to other element? Access based XPath. Anyone? Okay. So here you see that. Okay, Vishal, let me explain this. So suppose you wanted to generate XPath for an element like this enter email field with respect to user email label. So generally we write that following XPath, right? Remember access based XPath. Like for an example, let me show you this one. Let's say we wanted to write XPath for this input box with respect to password label. Okay. So first we write XPath for this password label, generally label and then password. So basically like that sibling, yes, following sibling, etc. And then this input is basically the following sibling for this. So you type following sibling, and here this is for input. So you select this input. Like this. So now we have written XPath for this password input box with respect to this password label. So we can generate this XPath automatically. Like you need not to waste time here. Okay, so how we can do that? Let me show you. And in fact, like more precise, the one which we write and what it generates. So how you can do that? Here you have this access button. Click on this, and now just inspect that element, the one with respect to which you want to generate, basically the parent. So suppose we want to write XPath for enter email with respect to user label. So first inspect user email, then inspect enter email. You see that we got the XPath for this enter email field with respect to this label. Suppose for password, we wanted to generate for password, enter password field with respect to password label. You got it here. And compare this, the one which we have written and the one which we got auto-generated. This is even further better because you see that we have used this dot and then following sibling. It has used normalized space and then following, which is even shorter and much better. So basically like what you will be writing and what it will generate, that will always be better. I mean, it will, of course, a human can write always a better one, but it will try to give you the best one. Now, suppose by mistake you inspected some parent here and you wanted to reset these value, like it is asking to inspect the child. So in that case, if you have inspected something by mistake here and you wanted to change this parent and child, how you can reset this? Click on this axis button, click back, and now it is set. Suppose you wanted to generate for courses with respect to products. First inspect products, then inspect courses. Boom, and it got generated. To copy this value, click here. To edit this value, click here. Simple. So this way, and here this is last access XPath, basically like the last time which you generated, and this is the first one, the current one. If you wanted to generate new one, if you inspect something new, so this value will come here, and then you can generate the new one. Okay, so this is how you can generate the access-based XPath automatically from SelectorsHub, and you need not to waste any of your time. Cool. Now, what is this attribute filter? You see that here you must be seeing this ID, class, and text, these things here. Okay, so what are those? Like you see here, it is generating with class and text. So suppose you don't want with class, so in that case you can uncheck this and it will generate without class. Now it is generating with ID. Let's see this one. You don't want with ID because ID seems like dynamic. You see that it shows an alert icon as well, like ID looks dynamic. So in that case, you can uncheck this. It will generate without that. So these are the shortcut basically with what you want to generate. Then here you have this box as well. Like suppose for an element, you wanted to generate with a particular attribute. Like let me inspect this field company here. So you see that it is generating with class and placeholder. And you don't want to generate, let's say, with placeholder, don't want with class. So you can uncheck this class. Okay, let me do it back. It is generating with placeholder. So many times you must have seen that in your company, you might be having some kind of, like you might have got some kind of data attribute or QA ID or data ID for each element to write the robust automation script. So in that case, you can generate XPath with your own attribute. Just pass the attribute name here, like enter attribute name here. So let's say you want with name attribute. So you just enter name, hit enter. It will generate with that. You want with, let's say, type, this one, you enter type here, hit enter. It is generated. So basically, the point here is with whatever attribute you want, that you can enter here. Got it? Now, we can copy this XPath, okay? I can copy this XPath, go back to my script and use this XPath. But we are not going to paste this XPath like this. We are going to write this driver dot find element, then by dot XPath, paste this value. Okay, now if I have to write a new XPath or something, a new element, I will inspect this element, got this XPath, copy this, come back, and then driver dot, again we'll have to type this complete story, isn't it? So wasting time. Can we get this complete command? Yes. So here you have this command feature. On right side, you see that set driver command. Click on this and you see that we got this complete command. Simply copy, go back to editor, paste it. Done. Come back. If you wanted to generate for some other element, just inspect that element. Boom, copy, come back, paste it here. Simply. So you can easily do this. If you are using something, let's say not this Selenium, you are using Cypress, you select the cy.get. If you and hit enter, you see that you got this complete command. If you are using add find by locator page, you can use this. Hit enter, it will generate the complete command. Simply copy and paste it in your script. You must be thinking how it will generate that elements, the variable name, it will give you the best variable name, telling you that for which element this XPath. So this is for products, so it is telling you that this is for products here. So it will generate the proper name as well. Don't worry about that. If you are using Selenium with Python, you have this. If you are using Playwright, you have this. If you are using something else that you have, if your command is not here, something else you are using at all, some random thing, let me type some random thing. So how you can write your code here? So basically you have to just, wherever, let's say in my command, XPath is written here. So I have to replace this XPath with XPath value keyword and hit enter. So this way you can generate the code as well. I mean, it's basically the command, not just XPath. Cool. You can hide them whenever you don't want. Simple to keep your UI simple. Okay, now let me turn on this command. So here you see that suppose we have to generate a locator page, or let's say we have to write automation script for all these header elements. Okay, so what we are doing currently, we are inspecting one element, select this, inspect this, copy this, go back to editor and paste it, come back again, inspect this, copy this, paste it. So you see that if I have to like write for all these 10-15 elements, how many times I will have to inspect one by one, click on copy, go back, paste, then come back, then inspect new element, then copy, then paste. Too much waste of time. Can we generate for all of them together? Yes, that's possible. So here you see that there's a feature here, click to generate automation code for multiple selectors. Click on this. And now you see the magic. Just start inspecting all those elements for which you want to generate. Keep this command on here. Now simply inspect this, whichever element you want. You see all of them are generated. Simply copy, go back to your editor, and just in few seconds we have completed a script for those headers. Now if you want to add send keys, click whatever you can. Isn't it really quick and simple? If you want to generate the locator page, just change the command to this one, hit enter. This is done. Copy, come back, paste it here, and your locator page is ready. Anybody using this locator page? Do you guys use the locator page or driver dot? Okay, so I'm sure this will help you guys. Do you guys think that this feature will help you at some level? Perfect. Now, so this is going to help you guys a lot, I'm sure. Okay, so this is how you can generate the locator page and the complete code. Okay, cool. Now, another thing is, suppose any UI change happened. Okay, so generally you must have seen in industry that most of the time our automation script used to go in backlog. Like okay, so there's one question. Let me just first take it. Janet is asking, can you let us know the benefit of using locator page other than driver? So yes, Janet, like generally when you use the locator page technique, like page object model, so there you write all the locators at one place and then you create a variables for them, which you can use, which you can call anywhere in your framework. So you will not have to write XPath everywhere in between your script. So that way, like code management and maintenance becomes easy, and the same XPath you can call at multiple places. So otherwise, like you will be pasting this kind of XPath each and everywhere, because there are chances that same login button you might have to use in 3, 4 test cases. So the calling variable name from a page is easy. While if you will be pasting such a long XPath everywhere, and tomorrow anywhere XPath got changed, so you will have to change your XPath at 10 places. But if you have a locators repository at one place, and if XPath got changed, so you will just have to change at one place. You will not have to go and change manually at all the places. Got it, Janet? Okay, perfect. Now, okay. So I was explaining you guys, suppose on the same concept, Janet. Suppose UI got changed. Now you will understand better this with this example. Suppose UI got changed and we have, like, whenever there will be UI change, most of the time what happened? Locator get changed, right? So, and this is one of the biggest reason that our automation script used to go in backlog and we are not able to maintain them, because whenever UI change, locators change. And who is going to maintain them? Who is going to verify all the XPath one by one? Suppose this page UI got changed and I have already written hundreds of XPath in this for this script. Am I going to, like, who will like to verify XPath like this? Okay, copy this XPath. Now let's say my manager asks me, Sanjay, UI got changed. Go and fix all the XPath which got changed. So generally, what we will do, what option we have, we will copy the XPath, verify. Okay, this is working. Either we verify one by one XPath, or we execute our script, and wherever that will stop, that then we will fix that XPath. Then again run, then suppose at this point our script failed, I will fix this XPath. Then again run, our script got failed here, then again fix this XPath. So let's say there are hundred of XPath and we don't know, like 10th one got changed, 20th one got changed, 25th one got changed. It is really difficult, right? Because 100 XPaths are there, UI got changed, now locators got changed. So how you will fix those XPaths, right guys? Any guess? I mean, do you guys agree that either you will execute your script, like whenever there is a UI change, and if you have to fix your locators, so one way is that you will execute your script, and then wherever script will fail for whichever XPath, you will fix that XPath. Or you will, you don't want to execute 100 times your script. So because script execution will also take time, like generally 2, 3 minutes. Sometimes if there are more test cases, more heavyweight, 5 minutes, it could be 30 second, 1 minute as well. Or you will just verify one by one. Let's say I don't want to execute again and again. I let me verify all one by one. So we copy this, we go back here and paste and verify and fix them. No, this is such a pain in 2022 when COVID innovation like COVID and all is are there in the world. Why to do all these things manually? We have this done automatically. Do you guys know that this feature in SelectorsHub, that you can verify all your XPath of your script in single go, in single shot? Let me make 1 or 2 XPaths wrong here so that like we get the correct. you will see zero match as well. Okay, so what you have to do, you need not to copy one by one, you copy your whole script. Select the complete script, copy, come here. There is a button here, smart maintenance. Click on this edit button and paste your complete script. We have pasted whole script, and here you pass your command, like whatever command you are using in your locator page or wherever. So here, what is our command? For an example, let's say this is our command. So same formula of for command, whatever I told you guys. So let's say, let me copy this, come here, paste this, and wherever you have written XPath, change that with XPath value. And don't worry that you need not to set this again and again, only one time. So once in a lifetime in your framework, you will have to set it here. After that, like this command will saved in your local. So next time when you will open SelectorsHub, you will not have to set this. So this is one time. Okay, now just submit this and you will see the magic. It has fetched all the XPaths from our script and verified and shows us the result that, okay, these are all our 1-1 matching node, and wherever is 0, it is telling us. So you just scroll down. Okay, this is the one. Let me click on edit button and fix this. This is one, done. Pro plans, let's say something like this. So this is done. I will copy this and go back to my editor and search for that and fix this. Simple. Okay, so this was the one. Let me just replace this. Done. So my one XPath got fixed. Like out of these 101, see how quickly I can fix the XPath. Whichever got changed, I will click on edit, 0, password, done, fixed. I will go and edit. So you see that how quickly you can fix your automation script with this feature, and you will not waste any more time, and your automation script maintenance is so easy. So this is really incredible innovation, really good feature. If you just wanted to verify XPath only, let's say you have just XPath, so click on, you just turn off this command and paste just XPath and click on this button, submit, and it will verify XPath. So this way you can verify all your XPath in one go and your complete script. Janet has one question. Can we have multiple values added? What do you mean by multiple values added? Because here you just paste your complete script and verify. So that is, I guess, multiple value added only. I'm not getting where we were adding the XPath value. Janet, you can unmute and speak because I'm not able to get you. Like, what is your question?
Actually, I'm saying like in this particular thing, the driver dot find element buyer dot xpath, right? So can we have
Yes.
buyer dot id and buyer dot other things together, or
Yes.
just we need to add only one thing?
Only one thing, just this thing.
Okay.
Like
Oh.
whatever is
Mm-hmm.
your command, simply don't get confused. Whatever is your command on XPath, surrounding XPath, let's say. So right now it has, because it need a reference that where is your XPath. So
Mm-hmm.
this we have passed that inside this, whatever value is that, fetch it as a XPath. Now suppose your command could be like, let's say locator page. Right now it has fetched driver one. Let's say we will fetch this at find one. So let me write this one. Copy your whole page, come here, paste it, and my command is something like this one. Let's say. So simply this is the command, and I will paste wherever the XPath, just replace that with
Okay.
XPath value. So right now it is not verifying ID and cssSelector. It will fetch only XPaths because XPath is the one which you wanted to mostly verify.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
it will fetch now XPaths only from that command.
Okay. Got it.
Perfect. Okay, so that was the one. So I hope this will help you guys. Okay, now let's see something more. you see that in many situations you will see these kind of dynamic elements like this. These drop downs which you cannot inspect. Like if you right click on this, click on inspect, it immediately disappear. This element got disappear because it get visible only on hover. So how to write XPath and generate XPath for them, and how to see the DOM of these elements. Okay. So one solution is that without opening SelectorsHub, you can copy the selector value right there from context menu here. So this is another great feature of SelectorsHub, that you can copy the XPath value from here itself. Were you guys aware about this? That context menu feature is there, you can copy. Though I will always recommend that you copy the XPath value from SelectorsHub tab, not from context menu, because sometimes it happens that you might right click on the corner or on some other element and you copy the value and you feel that, oh, I got wrong value. Okay, so this is the value we have copied. I have pasted here. Now hit enter. It is showing 0 elements matching because right now that element is not present here in DOM. But if I hover on this fashion and hit enter now, it is showing 1 element matching because now that element is appeared in DOM. Okay, so but still we are not able to see this element in the DOM. Like if we try to inspect, that gone. So how to inspect such dynamic element? We have this feature in SelectorsHub debugger feature, this one. So you just click on this button and within 5 seconds make that element visible. And you see that SelectorsHub will stop that here. And now you would be able to inspect this. Now you can inspect any of these elements. So you see that XPath is also generated for this. And you are able to inspect this. You can click and inspect any element here. So this way you can inspect even dynamic invisible drop-down elements as well with the help of SelectorsHub. And trust me, if you will try it manually, you will find really hard time. And it is in many situations, it is almost impossible to inspect such drop-down elements. Once you are done, you click on this or refresh the page to resume this debugger. There are some elements like this bubble loader, which is also like pretty much impossible to inspect. See this bubble loader, as soon as you right click and inspect, they just disappear. So how to inspect such bubble loader? So one thing, like after starting the debugger, we cannot refresh the page. If we will refresh the page, that bubble load, then this debugger will resume. So we cannot refresh the page after clicking on debugger button. But to make this element, this bubble loader appear, we have to refresh the page. So what to do? In this situation, what we want to start the debugger immediately. This will be like little complicated, guys, but very easy to handle, very easy to do. Whenever you will be like in this situation, you will be easily able to do with the help of SelectorsHub. So in this situation, we have to, after refreshing the page, immediately we are supposed to start this debugger before it get disappear. So here what we want to start the debugger within second, in 0 second, as soon as that get appear. So for that, we will have to change the start time of debugger. Like default debugger time is 5 seconds. So here inside setting, you see that there is a setting button here. Click to customize UI, click on this. Here you will see that there is a debugger start time, which is 5 seconds right now. Change this to 0. Okay. Now click on this setting button again. We are back here. keep your cursor on the debugger button and refresh the page. And click on this. Boom. It has stopped all these bubble loader. Now you can inspect these bubble loader and write and generate XPath for them. So this is how you can inspect even these bubble loader as well with the help of SelectorsHub. You just change that debugger time to 5 seconds to 0 seconds and refresh the page. Immediately click on the debugger button and this will stop. So this way you would be able to inspect such dynamic bubble loader. And trust me, without SelectorsHub, it is almost impossible unless you don't have really good knowledge of JavaScript and all these things. Okay, cool. Once you are done, you can refresh the page. Debugger will resume. Don't worry, I have created separate tutorial for each and every feature. So whenever you face any challenge or anything, you can always watch in the SelectorsHub YouTube channel. Okay, cool. Now, okay, so we have seen this smart one. Yeah. There will be some situation where you wanted to write XPath with double quotes, like if anybody is using Playwright or something. So that supports double quotes. So by default, it generates with single quotes. So you can click on this button to generate XPath and selectors with double quotes. So you see that now it will generate with double quotes. If you want with single quotes, you can turn it off. Here you see that it generates the selectors, all possible selectors, but you have to see all of them, you have to scroll, which is like time consuming, and sometimes you want to see all of them which all have been generated, right? You don't want to scroll them. So in that case, you can click on this expand button and you will see all of them up front. Now inspect the element, you will see all of them here, right? So this way you will see all selectors here up front. There will be situation where you don't want, where you don't need all these selectors here, right? So in that case, because I'm working in Selenium, I don't need this jQuery, JSpath, and all these things. I just want to work with relative CSS, selector, relative XPath, and index-based XPath. So in that case, you click on this customize UI button and you can customize the UI. Like you can hide all of them, which you don't need. So this way you can customize the UI as well. Like you just need, let's say 3 only, and you don't need these toggles, left, right toggle, that case insensitive button. So you can just hide all of them and there you go. So this way you can simply generate only those which you want. You keep only those things. And every settings will be saved in your local. Like if I close this and open SelectorsHub again, so you will see that it will open with your settings. And you see you see it opens with your setting. Another great tip, let me tell you guys, like right now, if I open DevTools, you must have observed that we have to click every time these 2 arrows, then SelectorsHub, right? Or if I have to expand this to get the SelectorsHub tab. Can I get my SelectorsHub tab here as the first tab so that I will not have to go back, go here and click on this? Yes, now you can drag and drop SelectorsHub tab here as well from the Chrome version 103 onwards. So you just expand this for the first time and drag and drop this tab here wherever you want. So you will not have to click on those 2 arrow again and again. Now you see that this is the first tab. If I will right click inspect, so you will find it here. Okay, cool. So we have done lots of settings in SelectorsHub. At any point of time, suppose you forget that what is the settings you have done, what all things were there in SelectorsHub. So there is a button here, reset button. You click on this, it will reset all the settings and it will show you default SelectorsHub. And you inspect. So this is one. Cool. Now let's see Shadow DOM, SVG, and iframe, the most important part. How does it helps you to handle the Shadow DOM element? What extra things you will have to do? Will you have to do anything extra? Not really. just inspect the element as usual you were doing and you will get them. So let's say you wanted to inspect this element, inspect this. You see, all the information selectors will give you automatically. You will not have to waste any time to identifying, okay, whether this is inside shadow DOM. You will not have to scroll in the DOM to see how many shadow DOMs are there. Everything it will tell you. It tells you that this element is inside shadow DOM. So you will see whenever shadow DOM, it will show in blue color, which can't be accessed through XPath. Use cssSelector for it. So the concept is we cannot use XPath to inspect, to locate the shadow DOM elements. We need the cssSelector. So this information, with this information, you will learn about it. And here is the complete script to handle that shadow DOM element. You just simply click on copy button, go back to your editor and paste it. Let me delete all this. And you just paste that. And suppose if you want to enter some value in that, you just use send keys method, and let's say ABCD, you wanted to enter into that box, you just add send keys and you will be able to enter value in this box. Suppose you wanted to you inspect any element which is inside multiple shadow DOM. This was inside single shadow DOM. You see, single shadow. Suppose any element which is inside multiple shadow DOM. So you just inspect that. It will give you all the information. This is inside two nested shadow DOM, and this is the code. You can expand this and see. You click on this copy button, go back to your editor and paste it. I will show you together. I will run the code together so that you will see entering the value inside both. Now this is the field. Let's say you want to enter here inside pizza field, cheese. So let me just delete this part and I will show you the nested one. I will show an example. Now let's run this code. So when we will execute this code, it will enter the value inside that pizza field, which is inside two nested shadow DOM. This element is inside two nested shadow DOM. And you see that it has entered the value. So it is very easy to handle such elements which are inside shadow DOM, multiple shadow DOM with the help of SelectorsHub. Okay, now if any element is inside closed shadow DOM or inside let me show you first closed shadow DOM. So you just inspect, it will tell you that this element is inside closed shadow DOM. So for closed shadow DOM, you cannot write the locators at all, guys. There is a way, there's a technique to handle which will work in some ways, which will not work in some way, some situations. So for that, like that's a kind of like workaround. So you can watch this tutorial here. It shows you the information. This is inside closed shadow DOM. So you just watch this tutorial once. That's a workaround. So basically, like we can use the action class and keys to move our mouse and then enter value, but we cannot locate, we cannot write selectors for closed shadow DOM. That's a concept. How you can handle the iframe with the help of SelectorsHub. So what you have to do, you just inspect the element and you see that it gives you all the information that this element is inside iframe. Switch inside iframe to access through. And here is the iframe XPath. Here is the selectors for the inspected element. So simple, just copy this, go back to your editor. Here you write driver dot switch to dot frame, and here let's say we have got XPath. If you have got ID, you could write the ID directly by dot XPath, and here you paste XPath. So we have switch inside iframe now, and then we got this command. You copy this, and here of course you can generate with the command as well. I haven't turned on, and paste this XPath. Suppose we wanted to send keys, and what is the field? First crest. Does anyone remember? Let me write SelectorsHub. Okay, now let's run this. So this will enter value inside that shadow DOM element as well as inside that iframe as well. So we have seen how can we handle shadow DOM elements with the help of SelectorsHub. Just you inspect normally, nothing extra you need to do, and then copy code paste. You see it has entered here, it has entered here. So this way you can handle the iframe as well, iframe and shadow DOM. Now you see that if any element is inside multiple iframe, more complex scenario. So this is inside two nested iframes. So this is frame 1, frame 2, and this is the element. So simply you can first switch inside this, then inspect, perform action on this element. There's nothing special. The most important part is that how you can identify, because most of the time we waste a lot of time like scrolling in the DOM, looking for how many iframes are there, where is that iframe, what is the XPath for that iframe. That it has automated, SelectorsHub has automated and giving you the information. Now suppose any element, let me take one more complex scenario. Any element which is inside, do you love this field you see? This is inside shadow DOM, and that shadow DOM is inside iframe. So in that case, how you can handle? First, you will have to switch inside iframe and then you can perform the action. So here, copy this. Let me switch inside iframe here. Okay, and then if you have to enter values here in do you love teammate, copy this and delete. Let me delete this line and paste this code. And here, suppose we wanted to, we love green tea, let's say. Save this and execute this. Sorry, there are two variables with the same field, same name. Let me just delete this part and then execute. So now it will enter first. Oh, sorry, I deleted more code. I deleted that switching inside iframe. So this will not work. 1 second, guys. I was supposed to delete this code. Yeah. So first we are switching inside iframe and then performing action inside shadow DOM. Now let's execute this. So it will first switch inside iframe and then inside shadow DOM. So you see that here it has entered the value. So what we did, if I show you here, first we switch inside this iframe, then we copy pasted this code and perform the action. So this is how you can handle even such complex scenarios with the help of SelectorsHub within few seconds. And trust me, if you don't use this, let me hide this here. And if you have to enter the value inside this box, trust me, you will take like at least 2-3 hours to just to identify and then writing selectors and then entering the value inside this. Takes too much time, trust me. Okay, then so we have seen all these things. Now how you can handle the SVG elements. So you just inspect any element. If that will be SVG, something is special, it will automatically tell you that this is SVG element. You see that? And if you will write something like this, $SVG, it will tell you that this is invalid SVG XPath format. SVG have an standard different XPath format that it supports. It doesn't support standard XPath format. You see that? It tells you this is a SVG element. It doesn't support standard XPath format. So here, when you start typing, you see that what XPath format it is giving, that is the correct format. Okay. So, yeah, so that's the lots of features of XPath, what you have seen. So yes, we have covered SVG, iframe inside shadow DOM. Yeah, customize UI, reset settings. So all these features we have seen. Let's have a quick quiz to learn more concept. Yeah, so I guess we are on time. Hardly it will take 5 minutes for this quiz, even less than 5 minutes. So are you guys ready? You will learn some great concept through that. Let me give you the quiz link. Open this. Please open this link and enter the correct information so you get the certificate on your correct email. And let me know once you guys are ready with this. Please enter the correct information. And click on next. Let me know once you are on this page, Selectors quiz. Is everyone on this page? Okay, so Vishal is there. Mohammed is there. One more guy, Janet. Okay, so we are okay. What is the answer for the very first one? Do you guys know? XPath to get all the URL values. Fourth option. Anyone else? Any guess? First option, I guess. First option. Okay, so now let me show you guys. XPath to get all the URL values. URL values. Okay, so when you are on this page, let's say, this element I inspect here. Okay, so you see that URL values. What is the URL value? URL value is this. So the question is asking, what is the XPath to get all the URL values? So we want this values. /A. When you write /A, this gives you all the nodes like this anchor tags. These are like nodes, not the URL values. Let me do one thing. Turn it off here. Now hit enter. You see that it is returning all the node values, not the URL values. So this is kind of like web element we got it. Okay, getting my point. Now, let me explain the concept how XPath works. So when you write, so you see that there are like this and this is almost same. When you write XPath like this, when you start typing, as soon as you start typing, open square bracket and let's say @href you have written. This one. So when you write something, so this is basically we have added XPath is like conditions, combinations of conditions. So when you have written /A, this, it means we are telling to this page, get me all the anchor tag. Then we are telling if we have written, let's say, relative, let's say, let me delete this. Then we have told like out of all the anchor tag, get me all the anchor tag which has this rel attribute, rel. Okay. Now I'm telling my code that get me all the relative, all the anchor tag which has relative attribute with the value no follow opener. So then it will giving me those. So okay, let me now show you this one. First there were 81, then we have added condition at the rate this, then there are 17, then we are adding one more that what it should be the value of this, then there are 15. So this is like one condition at a time. So when you write this one, let's say href. So here what we are telling that get me all the anchor tag which has the href attribute. So here if I delete this, hit enter 81, add this 79. So we told our XPath that get me all the anchor tag in this page which has the href attribute. So there are 79. But this is not returning the value. Whenever you need the attribute value, so you write the XPath like this way. You write XPath is like this / tag name, and then you can add the conditions as well, and after that / attribute name, whichever value you want, hit enter. You see it gives all the href attribute values. So these are all the links in this page. You can copy. So this is generally people use for web scraping as well as quick manual testing as well. Like you got a page to test and you have to get all the links on this page. You have to verify whether they are working or whatever. So in that case, you can use this kind of technique. And whenever you use this XPath like / tag name and / @href or something, so you get the values. You cannot use this kind of XPath in your automation script because they returns values. You can use only those XPath which returns the web element like this. / a let's say href, which returns this kind of web element. Only those can be used in automation script. This cannot be used in automation script / href. But it is very helpful in case of web scraping. Suppose you want all the text of link, you can write this way. This is text of all the links, what you're seeing. Suppose you are on Amazon, Flipkart, and you wanted to do the web scraping of those page, easily you can do. So the concept is clear, guys. Answer is third option. Let's move on to the next question. Does DevTools show the correct count of XPath match always? Any guess? Vishal is saying yes. Mohammed, yes. Okay, now let me show you guys. Does DevTools show the correct count of XPath match always? Okay, so let me verify the XPath / a here to get all the links. Okay, it is showing 88 match. Are there 88 links in this page? As per you guys, DevTools shows correct count. So it is showing 88. Is this number correct? Are there 88 links in this page? What did you guys say? And let me verify the same thing here. It is showing 81. Now tell me which one is correct. Okay, any guess or any like concept do you guys know? Okay, so let me explain this. DevTools, I mean, eventually, like over the time, we all have, including me, we all have considered DevTools as an standard platform to write and verify XPath and selectors. But we have never been taught, or we have never understood, we have never explored this, that verifying XPath in selectors here is not correct. Because if you see that DevTools clearly says that find by string, then selector, then XPath. So whenever you verify your XPath here, it also include the string match. So here you see that why it is showing as a match, because there is /a here, while this is not an anchor tag. If you keep entering that, you see that it is also matching this, because this is a string match. It is not an anchor tag. This is a paragraph tag. Now you are getting, guys, that it in DevTools you never get always the correct count of selectors. It gives you the string match as well. And you know the CSS selector for all the links is just a, the tag name a, right? So in that case, it should provide that, but you see that it is giving you 2173 match. While here, if you verify, it will give 81 only. It should give that same one. I need to see why it is now 82. But always count should be same in case of CSS selector and XPath. So in DevTools, when you verify anything, it gives you the string match as well as the whatever will be, it will also match, in fact, if the element will be inside iframe as well. And if wrong XPath will be there, you see that it is wrong. This is an invalid XPath, but it is showing 1 of 1 because it is matching here. And in many a times, what happens, people miss this thing in interview as well. Interviewer asks this thing that they will put like here, they will ask it is showing 1 of 1, or it is showing 88. Are there 88 links? And we generally always say yes, there are 88, and that's where we got stuck. So this doesn't show you the correct count. And in many situations, like in case of, let's say, iframe or shadow DOM, so you see that here, this is a shadow DOM element. Okay. Now for shadow DOM, what is this? Is the correct CSS selector. You see that it is matching 1. This is 1. Now if we copy this and paste it here, it is showing 0 of 0. So this is not correct. So DevTools doesn't support shadow DOM. Let me show you one more example. If you inspect, many of you must have seen that in DevTools, I'm sure you must know this, that you can right click and copy the value, right? Copy XPath. And I'm sure you must be thinking that this is correct XPath generated. No, DevTools always doesn't generate correct XPath. You see that it is showing 0 of 0. If you paste this XPath here, it is invalid SVG XPath format. So DevTools also generate wrong format as well. The basic reason is that DevTools is not, this is not considered just for XPath and selectors. There are like lots of functionality. There's nothing wrong in DevTools. It is just that like we have considered it as a standard, but no, there are like other functionality, other use cases. So some places it breaks, some places it doesn't support. So we have to understand, because the basic purpose is to search as a string here. I hope now the concept is clear that it doesn't, DevTools doesn't give you always the correct count and correct information. DevTools control plus F from control plus F. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt on this? Okay, moving on. Next question. Okay, so to solve this question, guys, please open this link into the new tab and click on Google. You can select any of your Gmail account, which is already open there, and you will come on to this page. Let me know once you guys are on this page. This is again a really good question. So what you have to do, open this link into new tab and then click on Google and select any Google account, and you will be on this page. Let me know once you are here. on this page. If it is asking for any set or something, you can skip that. Directly you can land on this page. Okay. So here the question is, which XPath is correct for reports with respect to project? So which XPath is correct for reports with respect to project? Okay, so now tell me guys, which is the correct option? So in this situation, we will never recommend to write own XPath whenever there are already options, because we might end up writing different XPath format. Generally, whenever there is an XPath already there, so it is always recommended that you verify that XPath only in place of writing your own, because hardly there are chance that we might end up writing different XPath region, because for one element there could be like we can write different multiple types of XPath. So you see it is showing one element patching, but why this is not the right answer? Because the question is with respect to project, and this XPath is directly for reports and using index. So this is not correct answer. The second one, second option, this is also doesn't look correct, because this is also reports here. It is not with respect to project. Third option, it could be correct, reports, and this looks like with respect to project. So let's copy this and verify this. Hit enter. It is one matching node. So this is for reports with respect to project. So this seems correct. Now the last one also seems correct only, right? But why not that option? Let's see. Hit enter. Oh, that is invalid. Colon is missing here. Okay, so the option is third one. I hope this question is clear now. The next question and last one is, what exception will automation throw while performing action on an element which has 0 width and 0 height? Any guess? If an element has 0 element and 0 height, what exception you will get in automation if you try to automate that element? Are you guys with me? Element not visible. Okay, fourth option, I guess. Let me see what is that fourth option. Non-interactable exception. Yes, you guys are right. Non-interactable exception it will give. Reason, because you see that first of all, like if you inspect any element which will be having 0 area, 0 height, basically it will SelectorsHub will let you know that this element is inside is not interactable through Selenium automation, as it is not visible in UI. I mean, this is a very simple concept, guys. Like suppose if I have to slap someone or hug someone, that person should be physically present, right? So basically, if we have to perform some action on something, that should be physically present. So that is the one. Otherwise, we will get non-interactable exception. We cannot interact with something until unless that is not having any like height and width. Something physical should be there. So the option is fourth one. Let's submit this, and you can see the score here. If you have scored 75%, you will get that. So mine score is 12 out of 12. So yes, I got the certificate. So you will get the certificate. Yes. How to use Selectors Hub and Test Case Studio in incognito mode. So it's very simple if you want to use in incognito mode. So just let's say Selectors Hub you want, right click on logo, manage extension. And here on the bottom, you see allow in incognito. So you turn on this. For local files, you can turn it on. And now if you will open in incognito mode, you will see the Selectors Hub will be there. So this is how you can use in incognito mode. Basically, you will have to provide the access. And then how you will get the future updates about SelectorsHub. So SelectorsHub automatically and Test Case Studio automatically get updated in your browser. You will not have to, you need not to manually update or something. And then if you like for the video tutorial and everything, so I will give you the YouTube channel link of SelectorsHub so that you can just subscribe to that. So you get automatically all the updates and tutorial here. And I will also upload this video recording on the channel so you can watch that later whenever you want. And if you need any help in SelectorsHub tab itself, there's a option to join the SelectorsHub Slack channel, Telegram group, everything is there, so you can join. And with that, yes, thank you so much guys for joining, and I hope you guys learned something new. If you guys want to see something really great innovation, if you have 2 more minutes, I can show you in SelectorsHub Pro. There are like lot more things and really incredible innovation. If you guys interested, I can show you. That is something really amazing. Okay, sure. So let me just turn it on here. Okay, so you see that here we have seen lots of things like I mean everything is there in free version. Pro version is the like little more time saving and has more innovation, and that is almost free, guys. It's just $1 per month, and if you are from India, this is just 50 rupees per month, not even like 2 rupees per day. So it's just not even like you offer me a tea or coffee. And this is again same thing, like to sustain the free products out there. Okay, so you see that we have seen that we can generate the access based XPath, we can generate the like locator page and everything. But what is special there in Pro version? How can we improve our productivity more? And what all things are there? So here you open Pro version. So this is how it looks like. First of all, the new UI and the better looking UI, more obvious UI, because what happens like in free version, you see that these buttons many times are not obvious and many people doesn't ever explore. Even if you have used Selectors Hub, you guys can feel that yes, you have never explored these buttons. So here you have all those options upfront. So it will be like more clear edit button and everything. So this is more clear UI. Then you have here this inspect button, Selectors Hub inspector. So suppose you wanted to generate multiple elements. You just click on this button here, page object model, and select this inspector. You see that you need not to click on that DevTools inspector again and again. You would be quickly inspect all these elements in single go. So here this helps a lot. Whenever you want to disable this, just right click, done. And here you see, and code you can generate here. Any option you wanted to select, you can select and hit enter. So this is very smooth and very helpful. This way here to inspect and generate multiple selectors. if you wanted to generate the relative XPath, sorry, this access-based XPath, you see earlier you have to click on this inspector again and again, like to inspect two elements. But now you have this inspector, so you select this, you click on this, you click on this, done. So this is one. You see, you were having this feature, that context menu. So in that you were able to copy the value in the free version, but you see that still you are not able to see that what is that value you are copying. You are blind here. You copy this, you have to paste it here, then only you can see. But here in pro version, you right click and right there you are able to see this value. You can see and then copy. So this is very helpful. So you click here, copy it. Then here suppose any element is dynamic. So in free version, you were able to get to know that, okay, this is a free, this element is looks like dynamic, that alert was there. But here in pro, you see that here in free version, you get the alert. Okay, so you get to know that this is dynamic or static seems like, but you were not able to confirm that whether this is actually dynamic or not. Here in pro version, you can verify this XPath whether this is dynamic or static. You click on this button and it will let you know that this is a stable XPath or not. So now you know that, okay, this is a stable XPath. I can use it in my automation script, even though class looks dynamic. And how this will helpful, like in some situation where you will get to know, let's say this one, because generally like page like LinkedIn and all, they are very much dynamic, right? So how do you get to know that this element is dynamic or not? So inspect this element here. And you see that it is letting you know that this looks like dynamic. Click on this, it will tell you this is unstable or stable. So you see that unstable XPath. So you should not be using this XPath in your automation script. It saves a great amount of time because it will automatically tell you upfront. You will not be wasting any time there. Likewise, there in each and every feature, like in attribute filter, now you have option of without attribute as well. In free version, you just have this with attribute option. Code, yes, definitely there's a lot of improvement in the algorithm and everything. Smart maintenance, you need not to type the command, you have the command option here, so you can automatically select from here. Customize UI, you have a lot more options here that you can customize in UI as well. Great feature here is that if you're working with Playwright, you can get the Playwright selector as well here. So you can go here and you can select the Playwright selector, and you will get now Playwright selector as well. Whenever you inspect any element, it will generate the Playwright selector as well. You see that this one. So you get, if you're working with Playwright, you will get this. So like each and every feature has been optimized a lot. When you will be writing XPath here, you see that amazingly, you will feel something like really premiumness, and that's really amazing. You start typing XPath here. You see that when you will putting down arrow, pressing down arrow, you will see automatically it is filling the values there on the input box. So this feels like really like in a smart editor. Another great feature here is that you can save this value here. Of course, the one which you have seen, like this, we have saved two values here. You click on this and you see that here you get the edit button, copy button, delete. If you wanted to delete any particular, like you don't want to save this anymore, you can delete this. So you have that option here to delete any particular value as well. Then it has something like smart search as well. Like suppose here we are on this page, let's say. This is really great feature. Those who, I mean, the kind of feature here in Pro, this is basically the people, those who love automation, those who love innovation, they will really love them. So, and those who play around with automation and selectors a lot. Suppose you wanted to verify all the links here, okay, /A. And if your element is matching more than one element, so you see that here it is showing you 81, 0 of 81. Now you wanted to traverse through them. So you just click on this button here and you see that it will show you the first one. So this is the first one, selectors XPath for first one, and this is the node. You keep on clicking here. Let's say you want for fifth anchor tag. So you just click 5 times here. This is the fifth one. So these are the selector for fifth element, and this is the element. You want for like more, you just keep on clicking like this. Hit enter. Suppose here you see that it is showing you this first, second, third, and you will see that selectors have used to add XPath attribute with each matching element. So suppose we want for when you will hover here on DOM, so you will see that in the UI it used to highlight all the elements, right? With the outline like. So when you will hover on this element, these elements here, let's say you want for second element, you just select element, it will generate selector for that element, second element. So this way you can select any particular element and you would be able to generate selector for that. So this is the another great feature. One of the best thing about Pro version is that it has the support for more in case of like shadow DOM. So suppose any element which is inside shadow DOM. So you see that it has this feature that you can generate now code, because currently in the free version you have seen that you can generate the code for like that. By default code was Selenium and Java, but suppose you are using Cypress, so you just select this and you will get that. If you are using Playwright, you select this and you get that code in Java and JavaScript. So this is very helpful in case of like you are like whichever technology you are using, so all those options. So more features are there basically in the Pro version, and this is just like nothing, it's just $1 per month. And like when I will highly recommend that you guys take a free trial and try this one. You guys will really love this and enjoy this. So from here you can go and take the free trial. Just take the free trial at least, and after that, like it's just if you're in India, 50 rupees per month. If you're outside India, $1. And yeah, and I would really request you guys that if you love this and wanted to use it, so then you don't take it from your pocket, please recommend it to your company, that company take the subscription, so that you will not have to pay it from your pocket, and that way I will also get help for the free products, free tools for you guys, and you guys your whole team can get benefited out of it. Yeah, so that was the Pro version, guys. Any question, feel free to ask, and I will upload this recording on the YouTube channel. So, and once that get uploaded, I will share the link with all of you. Please let me know, guys, if you have any question. No, Vishal, we don't have anything, but yes, like if anything wrong in spelling, like functional spelling, which is a kind of like function in XPath, that it will give you. Like, let me show you. Like, suppose this element you are writing. Okay, here you have written this XPath. Now, if you miss this spelling, like in place of Z, if you write SE, which is a wrong spelling, so this it will tell you that wrong spelling, use normalize. So it will help you, like if you do anything wrong in your XPath and selectors. But yes, that's a great feature. We can add that in future. Thank you, Janet. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your kind words. Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Vishal. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining, and yeah, I'm here if you have any more question. Great, thanks so much, guys. And if you guys need the like presentation, this PPT, and if you want to represent in your company, if you wanted to give anywhere talk in conference, meetup, or in your company, feel free to let me know. I will share this presentation with you guys, and do feel free to recommend, give presentation, or whatever you feel you wanted to create tutorial or something. Feel free to do that. Yeah. So with that, thank you so much, guys, and have a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much. Bye bye.